Cool. Now let's get started by making a new folder for the day 2 directly and dragging and dropping that particular folder to the VS Code. And perfect. Cool. And today we are going to discuss about advanced CSS topics or most important CSS topics, not like advanced, completely advanced, like mostly used and most important CSS topics like flex, position, and, and we are going to also discuss about the CSS units. What are the different types of CSS units and all those things. And also we're going to discuss about responsive designs, how to make your website responsive, mobile responsive, and all those things. And it's going to be a pretty fun session. Yeah, let's get, first of all, we will get started with Flexbox. Yeah, you send on the full screen. Perfect. Now, Flexbox is a display property, like when you have a bunch of cards instead of a box. Like I will show the pictorial representation instead of directly showing. We'll say now don't observe all these things. Observe one box. The box which is in the black color is the outer box, and all the four cards in all the four boxes which are inside the black box are like items. Observe now we are going to apply. We will apply the flex property for the external blocks, and inside blocks are like flex items. Like understand this thing properly. Outside box which is in the black color is called flex container, and blue which are in the blue color is called flex items. And there are different flex properties like flex direction and justify content, align items, and different things. Like we will see one by one what are the different things and where we use in real world. I will also explain out VS Code. I will open my VS Code and explain over there. Okay. Before, well, first of all, let me just open the VS Code and I'll explain. Give me a quick minute.
Sure. Pranay, while you do that, I would like to tell the attendees that if you have any questions, regardless of how stupid you think they are or how you think you shouldn't be asking questions, just drop them in the chat box and we'll have a look. And we'll ask Pranay also in the middle of the recap sessions if he can give answers to them. So don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what your question is. If you think it's relevant, just drop it there and we'll do our best to answer for you.
And let me just quickly create a new file index.html. As we know, index.html represents the home page of the websites. Index.html. And quickly drop our boilerplate using the emit, exclamation mark, enter. And first of all, okay, we will see about these three lines at the end of the session. Okay, we will discuss about those three lines at the end of the session. I'll just leave my title of flex and let's style tag for style. And zoom in a bit. Perfect. Now let me just drop the container and the flex item. Just drop it some boilerplate code. What I'm doing is what I'm doing here is I just dropped a div, which is a box. Like this first box is like outer container, which is in the black color in our presentations. Black color box. In this particular line, outer box. Instead of that particular div, if you see it's closing here, it's opening here and it's closing here. Inside that container, I have dropped three items, like three separate divs. And from styling, what I do is from CSS, let's say I will target flex container. For targeting the particular class as we discussed today, we will use dot and flex container floor brackets to specify the block of code for that particular styling. And what will I say is display flex. Now I'll explain what is display flex. Now there are lots of different of display properties like block and inline, which we have discussed yesterday. Like block elements will be taking the whole line, and inline elements will be just taking the space which they required, and all those things. And flex and flexbox both are sort of similar, and these three things flex, flexbox, flexbox. When we go to a comparison of these three things, it will be like advanced thing. And grid flex are the most like important things in the display properties, and inline flex are these are relatable to flex. These are relatable to flex. And we just don't need to know about all these properties. There are few important, that is flex, grid, block, and inline. This four. Now, first of all, we are talking about flex property. What it will do. Let's see. Now, before doing this, let me uncomment this and show you how it will look on the website. How it will look. I'll open with live server. Here, just do this. When you see here, it's not visible anything. It's just like 1, 2, 3 because we need to specify some styling for these boxes to make those particular boxes. It just drag some styling for those boxes. Some random, there's some styling to show them like this. Let me just remove the flex properties. So if you observe, I haven't done anything. Like I just gave the black background for the container and blue background for the boxes as a maintained in the presentations. And I just gave an height and width for the inner boxes just to show clearly. And I just gave them line height of 200 because to center the elements vertically. Let's say if I uncomment this particular line, if you observe, they're going on top to center the element vertically. I have made it. Now for centering horizontally, inside of the box, what I will do is text align center. Text align center. Now what this will do is it will just align text to center in horizontally. Okay. Perfect. Also given margin of 10 pixels. Cool. Now these are just some basic styling just to understand these things. Okay. Now the actual flex thing, I'll just make them separately. No need to mix them with that thing. Okay, you can also have another style tag with the same HTML. You can have multiple style tags as well. You just take another style tag. Here I will say background. Okay, now so to just reload this thing. Yeah, perfect. And here I will say for the container. Now, if you observe it, just tagging on one upon another. If I just inspect you and show you what's happening at this particular website is those are block elements now. All the elements inside of the container are block elements. If you see, those are taking like it's their margin are taking whole line. Okay, they are not in the same line. They are stacking one upon another. Okay. Now, once I apply display flex, see what happens. Display flex. What I observed, it just turned into the same line. Now there are some default properties of display flex that are it will appear that apply directly when you apply a display flex, like justify content center and justify content center now. Apply flex direction row and all these things are default properties of this. Like when you first apply the display flex, the direction will be row. If you observe here in the first one, in the first diagram over here, I can't zoom it again. In the first diagram over here, if you observe, it's in row 1, 2, 3, 4. These are in the same way. 1, 2, 3. Just make another also. Cool. Now by default, direction of this the flex property of flex direction will be in row. Okay. Now let me just go and let's say flex direction to column. Now let me just show you row. It will not change anything because its default is row only. If I change it to column, it will come this line, like top to bottom, because I change the flex direction to row to column. Row is horizontally and column is vertically, right? And there are two other properties also, like row reverse and column reverse. Let's say now I will say column reverse. It will come 4, 3, 2, 1. And the same way we have row reverse. It will come in reverse manner, 4, 3, 2, 1, starting from the right end. Okay. These are the four different types of flex properties, direction properties as was in this slide. And the next property is justify content. We will use this particular property to justify the contents inside of our flex container, like to justify the elements or items inside of our flex container, like in the proper manner. Okay. Now I am removing the fourth one because there is not lots of space. If we have a space between, like we have some empty space, it will be easy to explain the properties like space around and space between. That's why I'm removing the third one for now. And let me just drop justify content property. Justify content. Now you can see all different types of things, all different type of values of the justify content. Now let's just start with flex start. What we'll do is flex start. It's starting from the right end because we have done row reverse. Now if I remove this row reverse to row, It starts from the left hand. Okay, because this is the start of the flex, right? Because now this is the start of the flex, and this is the default property of justify content. It will not make any change. Now, if I just comment down these two things, if I just comment on these two lines, because it will not make any change because these two are the default properties. Now, if I remove these two and say flex end, as you know, this is the starting of the flex box, and this is the ending of the flex box. They are just transformed to flex end. Okay? And there are other properties like center, space around, space between, space. Let me just explain center first. Okay. Center. They will be centered. Okay, they will be just centered generally, and space around. Okay. Yeah. What space around will do, like if you observe this space is over this minute. Let me just get my drawing pad here. Just yeah, give me a minute. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Give me a minute, guys. Please don't. Sorry for this thing. I just forgot to set it up. One minute, I will share my screen right now. Just a minute. Drew, until then, you can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, does anybody have any questions? If you do, you can raise your hand and maybe Cybernet can answer them for you. Or maybe leave them in the chat. Anything works.
No questions? Okay. I hope my screen is visible to you again. Yeah.
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Perfect. Now we are discussing the space around, right? Now, if you observe this particular space over here, if you observe this space over here is equal to this particular space over here, this space. Okay. Now the space around the one particular box will be same, like for all three boxes, like this space, this, and this. These spaces values are same for now. Okay. Now, if you want me to explain clearly, like how we can trust that those are same, I'll just show you one thing. Okay, what happened? This is disconnecting. Damn it. Okay. Sorry for this. Yeah, I should have again. Yeah. It will not happen again. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if I can show you that all the spaces are same by using it. It's just a small Chrome extension to measure the lens in the website. If you observe, width over here is written 51, 52, right? And if I go over here and measure this particular width, it's giving around 112. I'm not measuring accurately. You can observe it. It's the same. Okay, you can observe the length over there. Now, this is the property of space around, and one more property of space is space between. Between the space between all elements will be equal by this property. Okay, space between all elements is equal. As you can observe, this particular space and this particular space is equal. And there's one more property called space evenly. What is the, you can observe this, there is a minor difference between space evenly and space around. In the space evenly, or the sides also will take the same space, but space around, sides will not take the same space. Only between will be the same and sides will be the half and half. Okay, this is the difference between space evenly and space around. If you can observe again, yeah, the minor difference has been observed here also. Space evenly and space around, it will be a very minor difference. And this is about justify content property. And next property is align items property. Justify content property, like it specifies over the horizontal axis. Like I cannot say it's a horizontal axis because when we keep the flex direction as row, it will be horizontal. When we keep flex direction as column, it will become vertical. Okay, you can understand it, right? Or else let me just bring some image through which you can understand. I'll bring some image to explain the main axis. There will be some things like main axis and horizontal axis, all these things instead of flex box. I'll drop some image just a minute. Yeah, here it is. Good. Now here if you can see this thing, this is the image which explains about the cross axis and main axis. Now, it's not important to see this, remember everything. I know you guys will be like terrified by seeing this image. That's why I have included this image in the slides. Just know that there will be two axes called main axis and cross axis. Main axis will be along the flex direction. Cross axis is opposite to the flex direction, like 90 degrees to the flex direction. Just remember this thing. Main axis is called along the flex direction. Just one thing. Just remember that part. Now we use justify content property to differentiate elements on main axis, and we use align item property to differentiate elements on cross axis, other axis. Anything. Yeah. Now let us quickly make this thing. Remove the justify content and explain align items. And also observe one thing: it's justify content and this align items. These are two different. Okay. And align items, there are, welcome to the align item properties. There are like flex start is a default. It's in the same way as in justify contents, flex start is a default, right? In the same way, align items also flex start is a default. Just like flex start, no change. There will be no change. And is a flex end. Okay. For this explanation, let's just switch to column. I don't think this will make any change. Yeah. We can see as soon as I switch to start, they are shifted to left side. As soon as I shift to end, they are shifted to right. Now, because this is the now the vertical axis becomes the cross axis for this column because I change it like there to column, right? That's why it's differentiating. Just observe those things. And flex start is a default property, and as soon as I change to end, it will go to the right end. And some other properties like stretch, baseline, center. These three are another important properties. Let me just show you baseline. They will go under the baseline is nothing but just common as a flex start. You can observe. Baseline is flex start or same sort of. Okay. Let's just say I will also determine the particular height for the outer container so that you can understand this particular thing easily. Let's say height of 100 VH. VH is nothing but we put height. We will discuss about this. What is it? We will discuss about these units in this session only for these things. Okay, as you can see, it took 100% of viewport height. Look at whatever you can take it. It have taken that one. And now if I just change it to stretch, I need to remove this height property from these things. Width property. Yeah, as you can see, they are stretched over. Okay, they are stretched and baseline. They are completed to the baseline. Okay, they are completed to the baseline, and they are if you stretch, they will stretch. And one more different property is center. Center is generally same as justify content. Align that completely center. Now, if you also add justify content center, it will center everything. And this is how we center all the elements. This is the easiest way to center elements in CSS. Okay, this is the easiest way to center elements in CSS. Just apply display flex and justify content center, align item center. That's all. This also everything is center. But this is all about align item property and flex grow and flex shrink. And these two are like we will use this very low, and these are like not most user properties. These are like very low user properties. Now what this does is flex grow one is the default properties. It will just distribute like 1 1 1. Let's say there are three elements and the width of the outer box is 100. Okay, let's say sorry. The width of the outer box is 90, let's say, and there are 3 elements inside of the box. Okay, what each element will take the 30, 30, 30 default. Okay, like equal size is the one. If you apply flex grow as 2, let me just show you. Let me show you. I think I can show that. Flex grow 2, let's see. Okay, I don't think, because we need to access some other properties to get that. Like as I said, they are not mostly used. They need some other properties. They will use it in things like some responsiveness. Like we will see at the time when we are making the project at the end of this session. This is the thing what it does. You can understand by seeing the image. By keeping flex go as 2, the second element will take the 2 times of the width, and as 3, the particular element will take. Sorry, my bad, my bad. Okay.
All right, Pranay, before we move on to the next topic, I think we should just recap everything that has happened so far. Just a
Yeah,
brief
not yet done. Not yet done. It's
Yeah,
there are more topics in place. I'll let you know. Yeah.
cool.
Now, welcome to the flex string. While flex grow expands the particular element, flex string decreases the particular element. Okay. Now, just to explain the flex grow and flex string, what I will do is I will just add one more class to the second day, like second element. I will just say, item 2. Okay, item 2. And flex grow and flex string, these properties are applied to the particular elements, not to the box. Okay, justify content and align items are applied to the box because those are with respect to the box. But these properties are applied to the particular elements instead of things. Okay, let me just say let's go 2 for this. If you observe, the second element took more space, and if I say flex grow 3, it will look the same space because we only have 3 elements over here. The 2 is the max. Okay, here we have 4 elements over here. We have 4 also, 3 also. Okay. I think you can get it. One more thing, string. String 2. If you observe here, okay, just giving one more element. 4 and like string. Okay. This one needs additional properties. Flex grow doesn't need this one needs additional properties. And these are not mostly used properties like as soon as regularly as we use just for content and align items. Okay. And this is the most used property. Let me just quickly explain this thing. Let me just bring back the width and height properties of the inner boxes to explain this thing. Bring this back, remove the column property, remove the item 2 property. And now it's back. Okay. Now let me just bring one more element. What happens is it's just decreasing the width. It's not compromising and going to the next line. It's decreasing the width of the element itself. Let me just bring some other. If you observe, it's decreasing the width. Now let's say we don't want them to decrease the width. We want them to go to the next line. For that, we have flex wrap. Wrap that, but just wrap to the next line, just as self-explanatory. Flex wrap, and the default property of this is no wrap. We can, as soon as we set it to wrap and add new property, you can see it's just going to the next line. Okay, just going to the next line. Perfect. And this is how it happens. Cool. And this is all about flex wrap. As you can see in the illustration, it just goes to the next line. And there's also one property called wrap reverse. It wraps in the reverse order. Let me just property. As you can see, it wrapped in the reverse order. Instead of adding to the bottom, it just add to the top. Okay. And the default property is no wrap. And if you can see in the bottom, there is one more property called flex flow, which is the combination of flex direction and flex wrap. Okay, let's say I want to make flex direction also. I want to add flex direction as column. Okay, I want to add flex direction as column. Just let's say I don't want to add it in 2 lines. I just want to in 1 line, like wrap and column. I just want to add both in two one line. What is flex flow? I will say column and then tab. Now I can remove these two lines. Commenting means removing itself. If you observe, those two lines are just completed in a line. Okay. Now this is about flex wrap and flex flow. Next one is align self. Align items aligns all the items in the particular box. Align self aligns a particular element in the box. Okay. Align self aligns a particular element in the box. So we just remove the third box, fourth box, and fifth box, and this is how it is. And let me also remove the column and all this. Yeah. Now I will say for item 2, dot item 2 align self baseline. Now it just goes to the baseline. As you know, here the vertical line is starting and here the vertical line is ending, right? We can align it to the baseline or we can also align it to the flex end, nothing but end of the thing. Okay. Flex end, nothing but end of the flex. We can also align it to the flex start, which is nothing but the baseline, as I said. Flex start, which is nothing but the baseline. Okay. This is about align self. It aligns a particular element. And next thing, okay. Now these are all the properties. And this is a game for you guys to play. As we have discussed about one game yesterday, right? Which helps to in understanding the like what's it say CSS targeting. Okay, CSS selectors, which helps you understand CSS selectors. And this is the famous and the best game to understand the CSS Flexbox. You will master the Flexbox completely. I completely recommend you to complete all the levels of this particular game. Let me just go and show you. This is a funny game also, not bored as yesterday's. Called Flexbox Froggy. Yeah, Flexbox Froggy. SSS game for Drew just drop the link over the chat. You guys can check out that link, or else you can directly go to flexboxfroggy.com. Just it. Now we need to help the frog to go to the particular leaf. Okay, you can read all these statements. It's saying use justify content property to align the particular item. Okay, it's saying the direct answer for you. Okay, for the end for the first time. What you have to do? Just always this for the first thing. It just went to the font. That's all. And then next it will show you the answer. Don't expect answer from the second one. Okay. Now observe that this complete thing is a flex box. Horizontal thing is a flex box. Now what we need to do? Justify content center. Those two frogs will come into the center. That's what we need to do. Justify content center. Yes, that's all. Like this, it have over 24 levels, flexing over all the properties of flex box. Do this, it will be perfect. And we need now what we need to do is justify content space around. I think perfect space around. That's it. You can come here. Click on next. Yeah. Play this game after the session. Complete all the 24 levels, and you can also share your results with us. Tag us at OSA.wait.ap. Master Flexbox. Okay, Flexbox is the most important topic. Like you will see every time you see a website, Flexbox will be there. Let me just show you let me just show you the example. Let's say I open oscvitap.org, OS's main website. Here, sorry. Also OSC Hub. Open until then. Yeah, this. Yeah. If you can see, this is the landing page. We are gonna design one landing page like hero section. Generally, we call this as hero section. Like whichever will be on the top of the website is called a hero section. As web developers, most of the developers use the particular term hero section. And if you can observe, let me just show you by inspecting. Here, this particular thing will be using flex. Okay, here this particular thing, as you can observe here, display flex. Okay, here display flex. I think I can zoom in. Yeah, if you can observe the display flex, you can see right. Like every hero section of the website will use flex. You can understand how important flex is. Okay, and what flex is. Okay, I need to log in. Yeah. I think you understand the importance of the flex and all those things. Yeah. Now, if you guys have any doubts regarding the flex, look in the chat. Anyone? Yeah, Dhruv, you can ask for the doubts.
Yeah, sure. So before we do that, let's just have bro. You've done such an amazing job covering all of this already. I don't think recap is really that necessary. But just to tie in day one and day two together. If all of you guys are following, HTML is just basically a file. It's like any other file that, like Cyprian said yesterday, is the skeleton of your website, and you can give this skeleton some style by using cascading style sheets, otherwise known as CSS. In CSS, that is one method to sort of give your website some layout. The flexible box layout. It's called Flexbox for short, and that's what we are learning. So you can target different things, different sections of your website, like we were targeting these different divs and stuff, and you can give those sections some properties. You can give them flex, justify content. It's up to you. So that's what we're doing. We're exploring different properties that you can give us the different sections of your website, and yeah, that's it. But Cyber, I actually wanted to ask you a
Yeah.
question, since nobody else is asking here. I'm sure everyone is pretty overwhelmed about this stuff. Uh, how long did it take you to sort of get a hang of Flexbox and get comfortable with it?
It just
Was it
took
difficult? Was it
me
hard? What
to
was your experience?
build 3 websites. After building 3 to 4 websites, just get me clear. No, and for learning web development, and you don't need to do anything like you will not sit and practice Flexbox only one thing. Just go and build websites. That's what I say. Go and build websites and build the practical things. When you do the practical things, you will automatically get used of
Mhm.
it.
And what resources were you using when you were learning Flexbox? What did you find useful?
Generally, in the further web development, I only suggest W3 schools, which are the great documentation, and also Mozilla MDN docs, official log. Most of the people say they might official logs also. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, that
so
about
those are
covers it. Thank you,
documentations.
Cyber. You may
Yeah,
continue with this one. Thank you.
perfect. And someone was asking the difference between flex, sorry, space between and space around. For illustrating that, I'm just making a one more box over down here, and I'm giving flex around from one and flex even. Sorry, space around for one and space evenly for another. You can observe the space. Okay, let me just remove one element just to make it easy. I just remove one element from each. Okay, it's still hard to understand. There will be like minor difference, as I say. You cannot observe in the screen. Okay, it's hard to observe on the screen. If you observe for the flex around, the space at the end, at the left end, at the right end, is lesser than the space which is in the between. Okay, for the space between, it's equal. All the 4 spaces are equal. This is the difference. That's all. Okay, what space around will do is it will just keep a space around the particular box. Okay, now this particular box will get this distance which is of the left hand to the particular box all sides, and between what happens in the between two elements is the right space of this particular element and left space of this particular element will mix and give that one. You can just show. I think you can show it through inspector also. Yeah, I'll show it to inspector. Just click on this. If you observe over here, the space can be clearly observe. Okay, I think this will clear your doubt. Okay, yeah, I think this is space around and this is space between. All the spaces are equal. Okay, this is the difference. Yeah, I think flex is clear now. And the next property we are going to discuss is position. And okay, good. Let me just drop down this thing and adjust this back. Good, good. Make a new file for position. Cool. I'm just draw up a template. Position. These 3 lines. Perfect. Position. Position. There are like okay. Yeah. These are the different values of the position property. Okay, these are the different values of the position property. Don't get overwhelmed by seeing the values. I'm saying don't get overwhelmed by the singular values. Those are pretty easy values. This is a pretty easy concept in the whole CSS. Now, first one, static. Static is the default property. Okay, static is the default property which will be applied for all the elements that you write on the HTML. Okay, whichever element you're going to drop in your drop body, they are going to have the property of display static. Okay, now when there is a property of display static, you cannot manipulate the x and y values. Okay, like top, left, bottom values of the particular element. Okay, I will say how to manipulate. Okay, I will say again, like when there is a static, we cannot do anything. Like it's just we cannot do anything with a position. Okay, now the first property comes with absolute. Now static default value of all HTML elements, you element don't change its position when you apply top, bottom, right, left values. Okay, I'll show you what's top, bottom, right, left. 1 minute. Style. Let's say, okay, let me just drop some elements over here. Some boilerplate code as I dropped previously. And some random styling for these things. No random styling just to illustrate the thing. Styles to illustrate the things. And let me just go to the HTML. If you can see, there are 3 boxes over here, right? And the default position value of all these 3 boxes is now what to say, static. You cannot change those values. Okay, you cannot change the what I say. Okay, let me just show you. If you observe the second one over here as a class called A, now we are going to apply the position values for that particular second box. Okay, let me just add another style tag as a previous class, previous thing. Yeah. What I just did, I just added the black color for the second one just to highlight. Let me just make its position to static. This is the default position. Now I said top 20. Top 20 means 20 pixels bottom, like move 20 pixels bottom from the position. Now let's say absolute. I will say you what is absolute. If you observed over here, it just went to the complete top. Let me just remove the top 20. Okay, it is at the same place where it was. It not changed anything, but it just floated over the box. It just came out. It's just looking like it came out of the particular section which it is wrapped around. Okay, let me just also add some styling for the section. Um, okay, we observe. Okay. Now this is a complete section we are understanding. Okay, no need of styling for this. Okay, no styling for this. You will understand when we okay. What are the top, bottom, right, left? You will understand when we are discussing about absolute and relative. I will discuss those are base topics. Okay, don't worry about those things. Okay, here, as you see, this is absolute. Now this will appear with respect to the parent. Okay, this will be positioned with respect to the parent. This particular box will be positioned with respect to the parent. Only remember this particular line when I say, and the relative will be positioned with respect to its initial position. Don't get confused. I will explain you right now. Just I'm saying there are 2 properties called static. Sorry, there are 3 properties called static, absolute, and relative. I'll just explain you in a minute those 3 properties. Let's I'll just drop a new line called position relative and observe clearly. And I will uncomment this top also. Now let's say I have uncommented this. Now its position is absolute. What is doing it? It's parent. What is section? Section is its parent. Okay, section is its parent. Okay, if you observe, let me just go by inspecting, it will be clear. When I go to this particular element, and when I'm decreasing and increasing the top value. Now I'm decreasing and increasing the top value. The moment I go to the zero, you can see it's the top of the particular section. Okay, top of completely top zero. Let's stick to the top of the zero. Okay, and as I increase, now it's positioning according to this parent. But when I add relative, I mean absolute, it will position according to its initial position. Okay. Now if I make top as 0, it will go its absolute initial position. Okay. I'm just making the top of 0. If you're wondering where I'm changing these values, here where I'm changing these values in the inspector. Okay. As you can see, when I said top 0, it just fixed to the initial position. Okay, when if I remove the relative and add absolute, it will fix to the parents. It will position according to its parent. Okay, this is only the difference between absolute and relative. And there's things called sticky and fixed. What fixed will do is it will just fix in the particular position. Let me just show you the fixed position, fixed, top 20, reload. Now, as you can see, I'm scrolling, but it's just its position is fixed at the top 20. I can also say right 0. It will go to the right side up to the 0. Okay, right 0. For 0 in CSS, no need to specify the unit. It's same if you even you specify units, even if you're not. Okay, right 0. If you can see, it just ticked over it just fixed over the particular position. Even if you scroll, it will not move. And where this will be used, as you can see, like once for websites navbar. Navbar, when you scroll, it will be fixed at the particular position, right? For the websites, let that load. I will explain another thing. Okay, it just loaded up. If you can see, navbar is fixed to the top, right? Navbar is fixed to the top. Okay, you can observe it, right? And I will explain the sticky over here itself. Position sticky over. Okay, let me just explain over here. Position sticky. Reload this. As you can see, it's just ticking right at the top 20. After scrolling, that's the minimum top value of it. Okay, that's the minimum top value of it. Okay, right? That's the minimum top value. Until the scroll, it will just be there. When you hit the scroll, it will be sticking at the particular. It will be fixed at the particular point. Let me explain in here in the OSC website. Okay, I will target this particular div to the inspector. I'm targeting this particular navbar. If you can see it over here, targeting this particular navbar over here. Navbar, and I'm saying, okay, it's already using position sticky. Cool. What I do is I just increase the top value. Let's say I'm increasing the top value to 50. And if you see, it just sticks at the top value of 60. Okay, it sticks at the top value of 60. As you can see over here, this is sticked at the top value of 60. Okay, this is how we use. And whatever changes we do over inspecting or just temporary changes will be up to your PC itself. It will not be global changes. I think you have understand about the fixed and sticky. Okay, and now let's just quickly confirm you guys have understood about this thing or not. Dhruv, can ask for the doubts now, or else let me check the chat once. Okay, CSS Froggy once again. Yeah, I think someone else also explained what is the difference between containers and flex. Difference between containers and flex. Container is nothing but I'm just using the term container to explain that container as the outer box as a container. Flex is a property. Is it compulsory to use style tag as CSS? You can use style in body. No, you need to use style instead of the head itself. You can't use style instead of the body. You need to use style instead of the head itself, or you can like add a different file for the CSS as we have discussed yesterday. Yeah, someone else also explain containers. Cool. Yeah, I think have you guys have any doubt, just drop in the chat if you guys any doubt in position. If you guys have any doubt in position. Quickly, I will wait for a minute. Drop in the chat, or else we can move forward. Cool. Seems like no doubts. Perfect. When the rest of the time. Okay. Okay, someone raised their hand. Just drop in the chat. Whatever doubt you have. Cool. Now we will okay, difference between absolute and relative. Okay, let me just go through it again. Okay, we'll quickly go to that again. Okay. Now let's say section is nothing but a parent because these three divs are inside of the particular section. Okay, these three divs are inside of the particular section. Now here section is the parent and divs are the child. Okay, just I'll try to understand this parent-child relationship. Okay, try to understand this parent-child relationship. Try to understand this parent-child relationship. Section over here is nothing but parent, and this thing is divs. These divs are children. Okay, absolute will position according to the parent. Okay, absolute it will position according to the parent, and relative will be positioned according to the its initial position. Okay, relative will be positioned according to its initial position. Okay, just this one thing. That's the only difference between those two things. Okay, that's why I don't turn on my camera. Just stop again. Yeah, it is back. Okay, cool. Yeah. While making less hours only for electronics, it's working. Can you tell me for in the particular folder? Now I have these two files in the same folder, right? If you can observe over here, my top bar, it's saying 127.0.0.1, which is the local server. Local server, which is the live server will create. Okay. You can you need to just change the slash and the file name. You need to just go to the slash and the file name. That's the thing. Okay. Now let me just quickly drop to the CSS units. Now these are the different units of these are the different units that's used in CSS: EM, pixel, CH, VW, VH, rem. Don't overwhelm. Don't overwhelm. I will explain one by one and where to use which. Okay, where to use which to be the perfect choice. Pixel is a like default unit, we can say, when most of the people use pixel always. Pixel is the default unit. It will be used most of the time. Okay, it's an absolute unit. People call it as an absolute unit. It's not related to responsive. It will not help you to make your website responsive at all. Pixel is an absolute unit. Okay, that's all. That's all about pixel. It's just a fixed in size. And percentage is a relative unit. If you take the percent, let's say we have an outer box over here. Okay, let me just drop something for explaining the units also. Just drop some code over here. Let's say units dot html and same boilerplate code and remove 3 lines. We will next topic will be these 3 lines. Okay, units and change to units.html and drop in a box and div inside another div and div inside another div and classes. Let me just show you guys emit. If you guys do div dot the class name like outer, it will just give it the class by default. Some small snippets. Okay, div dot inner. We'll go to the outer and style tag and target the outer. Specify some height and width. Height as 400 pixels. This is the absolute value I'm using. And width as 500 pixels. And this is some background color just to show you guys. Background color as black, let's say. Perfect. And inner. No, okay. Now I just give the background color of. I don't know. Now there is no difference between background and background color. So both are same. For your convenience, I'm just adding background white. And I'm specifying the width. I'm not specifying the height. Okay, I'm specifying the height. I'm not specifying the width. For height, I'm using pixels just to so that you can see the thing. 90 pixels, just say, or 100 pixels. Okay, sorry, 100 pixels. Now you can see the top part is it. The top part is covered with the white, nothing but it's just a white box which is overloading. Okay, let me just change the white to some other color. It's a red. Okay, so then now you can see, as you can see, the top part is the 90 pixel box which is inner. Okay, now let's just say its width will be 80%. We'll do whatever space is available for it. It will just take 80% of it. Okay, we'll just take 80% of it. If I say 90, Just take 90%, 50%. I'll take the 50% of the space available. Now this is called relative units. What we can, where, how this is supposed to be used in responsiveness. I will explain you this thing first. Now let me just remove the inner box completely. Let me just keep one box. Let me just keep one box, and I will not specify the width. I will specify the width as 100% or 90%. Let's say 90%. We will just take 90% of the space available. I will just say for the body display flex, display content center, JCC, there are stupid sensor or VS Code. It can make your life easier. Align item center and reload. Now it is not aligning the justify align items is not working. That's because you need to specify the height of the body, because initially height of the body will be like how many spaces required. What I say is, now let's just introduce to another unit. I'll say height as 100 VH. VH is nothing but viewport height. How much height is available? Like how much the height of the screen, you can say. How much screen is there? Height of that. There is a viewport height. Viewport is nothing but what you can see on the screen. The size of what you can see on the screen. As you can see, as I'm increasing and decreasing the viewport, the height is changing automatically. Okay, that's the benefit of using VH. That's also used to make your website responsive. Now this is inspector. We can make it responsive so that we can increase and decrease this thing. If you can see, the width of the box is increasing with respect to the viewport. Okay, by using percent, it's just taking the 90% of the body width. This way, you can make your website responsive. This is one responsive unit. And the next responsive unit is EM. Okay, this is more, listen carefully and clearly. Okay, EM is used to font sizes. Okay, we need to use it for font sizes because to make our websites responsive. Now, within a few minutes, I will show you how, and I will also give you a boilerplate code for font sizes, which makes perfectly responsive font size websites without any media queries, like without any additional things. Okay. Sorry, one minute. Yeah. And we'll use EM for font sizes. Okay. Font sizes and margin and padding. Okay. You don't need to understand particularly how EM works and all those things. It just works like with respect to the body and with respect to the parents size, with respect to the parents size, with respect to the default size. I will show you in a minute to explain perfectly in EM now. Okay. Now by default, EM is 16 body. EM like EM font size of it will be 16. Okay. Body. Wait for 5 to 10 minutes. I will drop to the project, and there you can see clearly how EM works and all these things. For EM and REM, wait for 5 minutes. Yeah, REM is also same, but REM will work according to the parent, but EM will work according to the body. As same as you discussed in the position. Position absolute works according to the parent, and relative works according to its initial position, right? Here EM works according to the body part, like this body tag, and REM will work according to the parent element. Okay, is the difference. And VW and VH are nothing but viewport width and viewport height, whatever you can see on the screen viewport. And CH is nothing but one character width and one character height, like how much size of character you specify that particular character. CH is nothing but character. Okay, this is all about this thing units. I will quickly drop into the project and show you how to do about EM and REM, and also show you about media queries. But I will just quickly go through the media queries, and I will explain about your media queries by doing your project. Okay, I will explain about media queries by doing the projects. And media queries can modify the appearance. Okay, can modify the appearance of the websites based on where they are used. Okay, based on where they are using, in mobile phone or in tablet or in laptop, like that. And this is a simple syntax of media query. You can say @media, and the screen, and I will just explain you in a minute what is the screen and all those things. Like we can apply the particular styling when the screen width is particular 600 pixels. Let's say mobile width will be 300 pixels. Okay, units of mobile will be 300 pixels. Let me just show you here. If you observe on top, if I zoom in, It's saying mobile yes, means mobile small. Okay. When I go to tablet, it's saying tablet 6 pixels, mobile as mobile L, tablet, and all those things will be there. Okay. As you can see, mobile yes, small mobiles width will be 320 pixels. So that you can use media queries to apply some particular stylings at that particular width. Okay. So I will explain you how we do that in a minute. And media queries is not only for that use. So many people think that media queries are only for the responsiveness and the thing, but we cannot do a lot of things with media queries. Like for example, okay, this is first of all, there are different ways to apply media queries, different ways to use media queries. You can link separate style sheets. Like there are some websites like Pinterest. Like Pinterest website, when you open in your mobile, it will look in some different manner. But when you open in your laptop, it will look in some different manner. But it's all coming from the same website. What they will do is they will apply some different style sheet, complete different styles, like completely different styles, not even a single change, single same thing, completely different styles for mobile and laptop. They will use this thing for the to get that thing. Like they will use the different style sheets. And another way is like we can also like specify, mm, like let's say we have a website and we have an image. We can also change the image in mobile version. Like let's say in the mobile, I don't want to see this image. This image is so big. I want to display some other image. We can also use it in that way, media queries. Okay, like let's say in website we are using some long image with long resolution image, and in mobile you don't want that to display. You can decrease the size and you can use some short image and all those things. Different ways, different usages I'm showing for the same thing. Okay, and this is how we apply media queries for the style tag itself. Okay, this is how we apply media queries for the style tag itself. And no need to remember all those things. Don't even try to remember all those things. You can Google it anytime, and I also upload all these PPTs after the session. And these are the breakdown. Okay, first of all, we will write @media, and next media type for which particular category we need to target. We are targeting screen, right? That's why we are targeting screen, right? We are like measuring the width of the screen, right? That's why we specify the screen over there. And minimum width, when this particular style should be applied, at which minimum width and at which maximum width, from where to where. I will show you in the code in a minute. Just look at this thing. I will just explain in a minute. Theming. This is the most important thing. At the end of yesterday's session, if you was till the end of yesterday's session, I showed you one website. I showed you that how it will change the theme of the website according to our system theme. Like now, my default Windows theme is dark, right? And the website will appear in dark mode. Now, let's say when I change my Windows desktop theme to light, it will change to the light mode. We are going to build the same thing now, and that's in that manner. Also, we can use media queries using that way also. So, and also to check which orientation the mobile phone is on. Like some people use mobile phone in horizontal direction, landscape direction, and portrait mode. Okay, you can also differentiate stylings on those things. Like if you observe some websites, they will appear in some particular manner in the landscape, and they will appear in some particular manner in portrait. And this is how they do that. Yeah, and yeah, this is it. I think these are the presentation of the day. I will just drop the. Okay, let me just drop into the project. I will just create a new folder called hero section, and index.html inside of that. Observe carefully. This is gonna be the like some part of this is gonna be the your assignment for today. And styles.css. Yeah, yeah. Let me just go through some separate styles of the same thing. Okay, here let me just change. Okay, let me drop something. Well, okay. Yes, now this is time to talk about these three lines meta tags. 1 minute, sorry. These three meta tags. Now, first, these are called meta tags. Meta tags will say that they will have the information about our website. There's some particular, some precious information about our website. They will contain the precious information about our website, like something like keywords. You can specify the keywords to rank your website on Google, like which keyword, like what is the content in your website, and all those things. Now, the first meta tag is char set. Char set is nothing but like The browser does not understand the English. The browser does not understand like ABCD. They will understand 0, 1, as you know, like if you have any prior knowledge in any other programming languages, you know the computers don't understand ABCD. They will understand 0, 1, 0, 1 knowledge. Now there are some different types of encodings. UTF-8 is a famous encoding which is used for the web encoding, okay, which includes emojis also. If you don't add UTF-8 and use emojis in your website, they will show some blurred images. Now I can't show you that thing because our live server is there. No? It will add some default styling for that. We cannot illustrate that in our local server. But if you deploy your website and don't add UTF-8 and use the emojis in your website, emojis will not be appeared. Okay, you have to try to Google if I get any image. Emojis without UTF-8 HTML. Okay, this is how it will appear. Let me just try to zoom in. If you see over here, there are some worried characters, right? This is how it will appear if you don't use UTF-8 and use this emojis. UTF-8 encoding includes emojis. That's what I want to say. Yeah. And the second tag is like general tag. This is like it will be like advanced. If I say a word about the second tag, just know that you need to. It will not make a lot of change in terms of your design, but it's just like some sort of ranking, Google ranking around for all those stuff. Okay. And the third tag is most important for your responsiveness. Okay, for your responsiveness, let me just show you how it will affect. For showing that, just promote the units itself. I'll show you over here. What I do is I will remove the width of 90%, and I will say 500 pixels, or let's say 1000 pixels over here, and height is 1000 pixels. Add a 1000 pixel width. Now you see it's shrinking. Okay, it's shrinking automatically. You're not doing anything, but it's shrinking automatically because we don't have that particular line over here. Okay, we don't have the particular line which we have over here. Let me just copy this particular line, paste over the in here. These all should be instead of head tag again. You can see it just took height is increased. You can see, right? Height is increased automatically as soon as I added that. It just took the 1000 pixel of height. Okay, it just took its 1000 pixel of height. It's just not shrinking now. Okay, it is not shrinking now. So just change this to 50%. You can see it's not shrinking in the way of height. Let me just remove this again and show you. Like when I decrease the height, as you can see, it's shrinking now in the height. Okay. The moment I add this, it's not shrinking over the height, it's the same. Now it's somewhat hard to find the difference now. Okay, it's somewhat hard to find the difference now. When you build a website, it will be some difference. I just remember we need to add this particular line to our media queries work. Our media queries don't work even if we don't add this line. Our media queries don't work. Whichever media queries you don't use. So this is the this particular line. I will just quickly start with this thing. Hero section. Or just landing page or home page as the title, and just go to this. This can slash. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, it's saying don't. I'm stopping the live server because I have created one more folder. Right, I'm starting my live server instead of the particular folder again. Okay, started. Let me just say hello world. Yeah, it's working. Cool. Now I'm not going to explain every line-to-line HTML, but I'm going to explain line-to-line CSS. Okay, keep the eye on it. Let me just link my CSS file which I have created. There are emits in emits in VS Code. Just click, it will just automatically link your CSS file. Okay, what I'm doing is just dragging some code which I have already written for HTML. And I will not explain HTML clearly. I'll just go through it, but I will explain CSS clearly. Okay, this is just this is like home page of some portfolio, like of your portfolio. Let's say just saying, hi, I'm Emily, I'm a web designer. I specify UX design, responsive design, and visual development, and all those things. A simple button and an image. Now we will see how we can use CSS to make this pretty, make this website look pretty. Okay, as you can see, there is not much of HTML. This is a simple idea of home. which we can remove also. I just added it like that. Just to there should be an ID like that. Okay. It's better if you add your IDs for your elements, okay, some important elements like section. Now section is nothing but if you're observing the section is nothing but it's not any new tag. It's like some semantic HTML, like it says that this particular thing is like a page. Okay, this particular thing is like a page. Now, for example, if you want to show, let me just open OSC. Let me just quickly open OSC. This particular thing is one section, and this particular thing is another section. It's like that. This particular thing another section. As we scroll, those are the called sections. Okay, the same properties. All the properties are same as the div. Okay, we just use section for readability of the code. I just added the class home to target from the CSS and content for this whole thing, and just drop the image over there. If you observe, I just wrapped all the content instead of the div because so that we can use CSS flexbox. If we apply CSS flexbox for the home, what we can do is we can group all the content and we can group the image one side. It will be helpful. Now I will show you. I will show you in the CSS. Don't worry. Just quickly now I think you guys have understand what is there in this HTML. It's just some buttons and all those things, images, as we have discussed yesterday. I want to repeat the same thing again. Yeah. And also I'm dropping some code here clearly. This code is also included in your template for today's assignment. Okay. This code is also included for your template of today's assignment. I'll explain this code also. First line is nothing but I'm just importing a font. I have already shown you how to import a font yesterday from Google Fonts. Okay, we directly go to the Google Fonts and import this. There will be a link for URL to import. And these four lines, I was explaining you yesterday that these are the most important lines for every website you need to mention because HTML and CSS, HTML will be giving you some default margin and padding. You don't want them to disturb you. Okay, you just need to mark them 0 initially. And box sizing, border box is like it will help you in the responsiveness itself. Like while applying padding and all those things, it will help you in responsiveness. And these are the lines. And if you observe, I have given a type scale. What is this? This is nothing but now this is like behavioral smooth is not required. Okay, and just remove this line. I just mentioned the font, which type of font to use just to look pretty. I just choose Poppins. I prefer choose Poppins a lot of times. And for body, what I did is now we are observing a new thing called calc. And most of the people prefer CSS as a general style language, but I don't say that. I will say that it's false. It's not just a styling language. There are lots of calculations involved in CSS. Okay, you need to use a lot of math in CSS than JavaScript. Then using JavaScript. Okay, CSS is a lot of like logical thing than all others think. Okay, now what I'm doing is one viewport width. One viewport width is 1% of the viewport width. One viewport width is nothing but 1% of the viewport width. And again, viewport width is whatever width is there on the canvas. Canvas is nothing but whatever width is there on the particular website. Okay. Now, if I inspect over this and show you guys how responsive it is. Now observe the text. No, don't observe the image. Let me just remove the image for some time because I haven't made a image responsive yet. Yeah, yeah. Now, if you guys observe, the text is 100% responsive. It's increasing its size as I increase my viewport width. Okay. To explain you, let me just bring this extension. I'm just bringing the extension. When I click over here, you can see its font size is 57 pixels. Okay, the font size is 57 pixels, and I'm decreasing the viewport width now. And now I'm measuring the font size again. Yeah, as you can see, it decreased to 37 pixels. Okay, font size. We are adjusting the font size with respect to the viewport width. Okay, by using this thing. How is adjusting? Because we are using the EM unit for the font. As I was talking, we will use EM unit for the font to make our font responsive. Okay. What EM will do? It will change its size according to the body. What we did in body, we have applied one viewport width in the body. Okay. Now you can observe the linking between these things. When we change the width, font size in the body will be affecting, and when the font size of the body is affected, all this font size will be affected because we have used EM units. Okay, we have used EM units, and don't think about these values 912 1.616. How these values are came, like let me just explain. There is something called golden ratio in design terms. In design terms, there is something called golden ratio, which will be like 1.3. You don't need to know all these things at the beginning stage. Like I'm giving this code for you. Use this code wherever you want, wherever whichever website you are making. You can always play with the font sizes, EM sizes. But there is something called golden units font. Let me just show you. Font scale, type scale. Now this is a website, a useful website. You can also use this particular website. Now if you set the base size, okay, and these are the different font scales. Okay, according to the design terms, there are lots of different font scales, and one I am using is golden ratio. Golden ratio font ratio. Okay, as you can see here, it will just generate some font scale for you. You can use this font scale in your website. The one I am using over here is this one itself. Okay, I have mentioned over here. When you go to submit your assignment, when you accept your assignment, this code will be with you. Okay, I have included this code in your assignment. Okay, don't think about these values now. I said those values will be coming from design aspect and all those calculation. You don't need to remember all those things. Now let me just drop code one by one and explain you. It will be quicker. Don't think it will take a lot of time. I will try to make it as quick as possible. With me for 5 minutes mostly. Yeah. Now this here I've applied styles for, let's say, home page. Home is nothing but here. This is section. All image and content. Home is targeting both image and content, all the things. Okay. Home is targeting both image and content, all the things. What I'm doing width to 100%. Low kitna width to chalo na do. How many width you want? We just take complete width. I don't care. Okay, I just set the max width to 1400 pixels, and this is because this is the most important thing you need to do for all the websites, because even you observe the OSC website, when you zoom out, it will be fixed to the max width of 1400 pixels, the actual content, because you don't want your content to spread over. Okay, you don't want your content to spread over on larger displays. So it will not look good if you just show them particular section only. Okay, you don't want your content to spread over. This is the good thing to use. Okay, even if you see here, when I zoom out, it will be just like that. Okay, I'll just set to 100%. And margin auto, I will explain in a minute why margin auto, and padding 10 pixels. It will not make any changes in laptop mode, but when you're using mobile, it will just give some little padding will help you to read the content easily. And 100 viewport height is nothing but just take 100% height. If I can show you, as you can see, just taking 100% height. Okay, and next thing is, and I have applied flex. Now flex is not up, you cannot observe the flex now because image is like going 100%, right? Let me just quickly drop the image style also, and then you will understand. Yeah, now you will understand clearly what is happening. Okay, just a minute. Now because this particular line is going all the way to the right, that's why this is coming to the new line. Now if I remove the wrap, you can see there is gonna be on same line. Okay, you are observing light. I think you're getting what I'm doing over here. When I remove the wrap, it just came up. When I applied the wrap, the above content is taking 100%. And what I have done is I have just mentioned minimum width. Minimum width of the image is 500 pixel. I don't want to see my 200 pixel. I don't want to see my image less than 200 pixel and greater than 500 pixels. I don't want my image to be that long. I don't want my image to be that short. Okay, a simple thing, simple terms. And height auto, I don't care about height. It can take anything, but width should be this much only. Okay, this means height auto. And border radius 10 pixels just to look pretty. As you guys all know, Windows just added all border radius at all the places because things will just look pretty and with borders. And object feed cover. This is the most important thing. So I'll just quickly explain you object feed cover. Okay. Just quickly explain you what object feed cover. Just uncomment this. Okay. And let's say I will set height to 200 pixels. Image is shrinking. If you can observe, image is shrinking. Okay. Image is shrinking. Now to get rid of this thing, we will add object fit cover. What it will do is it will not shrink the image, but it will just be the particular size only. It will it just takes the particular part of the image. It will not shrink the image. That's why we use object fit cover. I recommend using it in the particular property for all the images. Okay, I'll just recommend using the particular property for all the images you use on your websites, and I will just make this auto again. So I have removed it. Auto and semicolon. Perfect. And now just observe these two things. After applying these two styles, Flexbox will be clear in this concept. Okay. What I done is I just specified the margin. Don't observe this styling. Let me just remove this even. Observe this. I have specified P to the maximum width of 450 pixels. Okay. Then now what happens is this P tag can take the maximum width of 450 pixels. Because of that, what happening is just P is wrapping over. Okay. We don't want our image to wrap over. We want our P tag to wrap over. Okay. For that, we are just specifying the maximum width of 450 pixels. Okay. I think you are getting where the flex is understanding, but I'll again explain. What I did is display flex for the text and the image. What are the two elements? There are two elements inside of the flex now. There are two elements inside of the flex. One element is the text and one element is the image. I will show you by inspecting. It will be more easy to check. Okay. I'll show you by inspecting. So just click over this flex. As you can see, there are two elements inside of the flex. One is the div and one is the image. Okay. One is the div, which is the content, and one is the image. And what are the properties applied? Space between. As you can see, space is applied in between. It's not space around or all those things. I'm just giving the space in between. I'm just keeping two things at the left hand and the right hand. Okay. And align items center or align items are like vertically aligned to the center. What happens if I just remove this? They'll just go on top. Okay, they will just go on top and just aligning items center just to look pretty. Okay, these are the flex and I've applied wrap. Now what happens now if I decrease this now? Okay, let me just show it like this. Observe this. I'm decreasing the width. It's coming closer. Both are coming closer, and I've set the minimum width of for my image. Okay, I've set the minimum width for my image. It can't go over 200 pixel of width. And when both hits the minimum point, it just wraps over the next line. Okay, it just wraps over the new, so that it will be helpful for our mobile view. Okay, it will be easier to make it responsive using the media queries. Okay, you don't need to add additional styles in media queries. Okay, I think you guys have understand the styling which I have applied till now. And also let me just quickly bring my margin back. H2. I just applied a little bit of margin for the heading 2, which is this tag, because just to details and separate the title. For there, I just applied some margin. Cool. And now the button styles. Here I'm going to explain the hover animations also. When we take the cursor over the button, how to change the color and all those things. Now this is the some like default, we can say the basic stylings for the button. Just specify the font size of 16 pixels, which is I recommend to keep 16 pixels or 22 pixels for all the buttons on your website. And this is a simple border of white line. I will show you why I'm keeping that. We will not make any change now because background is also white, right? Yeah. And background none. Where did background none? Where did background none? Just right of it. It's not making any change. I don't know why. Yeah. And color white, we just made background black and color white just to separate the button, just to highlight the button, because whenever someone goes, that's like main action that they want to do. You want them to do, right? Just to make it stand out. And the border radius of 30 pixels just to make it pretty. And a padding. Padding will be the one which is inside of the border. Okay, padding will be the one which is inside of the border. Just make it to read clearly. I made that. And cursor pointer, when we hover over, we need to add it. Not now. Let me remove that. And transition also, I will explain now. Forward about that. And just bring the hover animations. Bear with me. I have no time is over, but bear with me for 10 minutes because I went a little slow as you guys asked. Just took me some more time. Yeah. What I'm doing on hover is nothing but when you take your mouse cursor over the button. Okay, when you take your mouse cursor over the button, it's called hover. And then what I'm doing on hover is changing the background color and color, just reverting them and making the border to be one. And if you observe, there will be a little bit of change in the if I remove my border 1 pixel, if you can see the content is moving up and down. Let me just zoom. If you see when I am hovering, the content, actual content is moving up and down because of that 1 pixel of border is adding additionally. Okay, because of that 1 pixel of border is adding additionally. If you just make it 10 pixels, it will make it will you can see it, okay? It's just moving up and down, right? To get rid of that movement, I'm adding 1 pixel white in here also. Okay? If I make it 10 and this as 10, as you can see, it don't make any change of the content. Okay, content will not move. Color line. Okay, and this is the simple hover answer. And there is no smooth animation. We want the smooth animations in your vector, right? That's why we'll ask transitions. All means for all the elements. Okay, all means for all the elements. And over here, we can also do one thing: cursor pointer over hover thing. When we hover over thing, just change our cursor to pointer. Ignore this. Okay, that's not working because of some glitch, I think. It should work. Cursor pointer is nothing but we will just change your cursor. Just don't remember about that. Yeah. And transition. First value is all. All is nothing but for all the elements instead of the button. Okay. For all the elements instead of the button. For all the stylings instead of the button, to be specific. For all the stylings instead of the button. 0.3 seconds. It will animate for 0.3 seconds. And easy nowadays a term for animation. Like when you come in, it will be 3 seconds, and when it go out, it will be 3 seconds. Now for you, I will just make it 1 second. As you can see, it's taking 1 second to animate and 1 second to go back. This is the thing. Okay, let me just go back. And this is the thing. This is how we animate smoothly. Okay. And quickly, let me just grab one media query to explain in the media queries concept. What I'm doing over here is in this media query. First of all, observe the syntax of media query. Direct media, only screen. Check the screen only. Don't check anything else. Only screen. And also check the maximum width. When the screen hits the point of maximum width of 940 pixels, to change the flex direction column and make it space evenly. I will explain you why I'm doing these two stylings. Before that, let me just say one thing, like change the body background just to show you when it's triggered. Background color to red. Okay. You just check. You see here, observe over here, this is the width of the thing, which will be 1011, right? It will be changing. The moment I hit 940, it just changing to red. Okay, that's the point where this particular stylings will trigger. Okay, understand the thing. And why specific 940? Because the I just took like that according to, I will show you. Okay, I will show that also. As you can see, at the 980, 970, at this particular point, it is wrapping. The content, actual content is wrapping, and it's not looking good. It's not centered, right? To center that particular thing, I just using media query. Okay, let me just quickly uncomment this thing. What happens is like direction will be changing to column, and justify content and align items will be reversed. Will be reversed to one another, and everything will be centered again. And we are specifying that justify content. Let me just remove this spacing and show you. Like as you can see, the top and bottom are looking completely okay. Now the moment we change it to space evenly, it will be spaced correctly and evenly. It will look good. That's all. And this is where I use a media query for this. This is how I write media queries in CSS. And the theme one, how to change the theme of your body. Okay, how to change the theme. Particular media query. Observe the screen, and if the prefers color scheme, observe this particular line. Prefers color scheme is dark. Now my website, okay, for now my system is set to dark theme. If you can observe, this is the dark theme of Windows 11. Okay, that's why it's showing the dark theme. Okay, now it's dark theme because that's why it's applied the background color and color of dark. Okay, background color as I mentioned. Now let's say, what if I say I'm opening my theme settings. And also, Rahul, be ready with the quiz until then. And we're gonna wrap up session sooner. Be ready with the quiz. And let me show you guys what happens when I switch over the theme. Okay, this is the theme settings in Windows. I'm going to the light theme. As you can see, it's changed to white. Okay, it takes some time while I'm switching the themes because most of the apps are open. And I'm going back to the dark theme. I'll try to go back. Okay, leave it here. And I think you guys understand what is the concept over this. And today's assignment for you guys is to build the same thing. You can add your own image, you can add your own name, and you can add your own description. But I have included all the images that I have used and also design images. How it will look in mobile, how it will look in website. I have included those images in the repository, all those things. And I wanted to give some additional tasks. Like what you guys do is add some separate section called about section. Okay, how it will be like about me and a small content about you and a small image which explains about you and any illustration. Okay, just some small additional content you can do if you want. That's not like a main point, but this is the actual assignment for you today. Let me just try to switch over the interactive one. If you can see, it just switched over initially. Yeah, this is it for today from my side. And yeah, and you guys, if you guys have any doubts, just quickly tell me if you guys have any doubts. Drop in the chat. So just for Rahul or Dhruv, if you guys are here, you can ask for doubts.
Yeah, Pranay, there are some doubts. Please address them.
Let me just quickly check this out.
Also, by the time Pranay addresses the doubts, we are dropping the quiz link. So the ones who don't have doubt may join.
Yeah, once you don't have any doubts, you can join the quiz. Until then, I will just adjust the doubts, check the doubts once. Font we use CSS style. 1 minute, I will change my earphones. I just chart out this is making some worried sounds. Give me 1 minute.
Also, along with the quiz link, I'm dropping the assignment link. Please join the quiz, complete it, and then refer to the assignment, guys.
Am I audible? Just confirm.
Yeah, Pranay, you're audible. Saket, like in the chat, you have asked, is it mandatory to attend the quiz? See, the quiz is a short, upcoming, like it is not marked, it is nothing. It's just to test yourself and what you have learned today. So we prefer that you attended
Please
the
attend the quiz.
other.
You prefer to attend the quiz.
Yeah, but it's your choice. We can't force you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
You can leave. If you have any work, you can leave. You have any
Yep,
more?
and for those who are wondering about the quiz, then I will definitely give this quiz for a practice for you guys, just to wind up with all what you have learned in today's session, so that you'll be like a bit more comfortable with the topics and all. And yep, so you can definitely practice these questions whenever you have the free times.
Yeah. And also, someone was asking to explain a little bit about the assignment. I will explain at the end, just over the quiz. Wait till the end if you want me to explain about the assignment once again. And while people are joining the quiz and just addressing the doubts, like can't we use CSS styling tag attributes? Yeah, absolutely. You can use the inline styling. That's not as inline styling. That is a bad practice, but you can use it. That's not like it will like as I discussed yesterday. The main priority will be given to those styling, the inline styling. Think of the golden resource. You can just Google like type scale. It will just appear. Just Google type scale. The first link. Also, you can drop the link also if you want. Yeah, you are required to make the same website that I have built today, and I have included the template, like including the font scale and all those things inside the file priorly. You don't need to start from the scratch. I've included the type scale and all those things. The template itself. Theme is nothing but it's just like one line of code, a fixed line of code. It's just used to like the particular line. By using the particular line, you can just change the CSS, like change the background color and all those things when the user switches the theme. It's just a constant line of code, just nothing more than that. I will upload the PPTs. You can check on there, like what is that constant line of code. Can you also send the source code? Yeah, I will send the source code. Like I will upload this not today, like this project one, because you guys need to do the assignment, right? I'll upload tomorrow. Everything will be available on MS Teams, and also we'll be updating on our Discord server as well.
And then I guess we can start our quiz then. And any more doubts or queries,
But
like
for
Sai
two
will
minutes,
address you at the end. Quiz will be happening.
quiz will be starting in 30 seconds, 30 to 1 minute.
Yep. So please join fast.
Yeah. Assignment marks are awarded, like you will be evaluated for the assignments and the best projects and our best performance in the quiz and best projects. They will be getting some surprise prizes, some good prizes also. Make sure you submit the assignment. And also for all the OAC club members, it's mandatory to submit the assignment. So the one thing is a small announcement. Yeah, your performance will be evaluated through the quizzes and the assignments. Make sure you submit the assignments. Whatever you have understand, just do that. It's not mandatory to get the quiz.
All right, the quiz begins now. So make sure you guys join in and answer everything.
Great, guys. The accuracy rate is constantly increasing. That's a great GG.
And anyone is facing any issues in with assignments or accepting assignments, join our Discord and drop a query on Discord. And drop the images, whichever errors you are getting, and we will share how to do next and all those things. Join the Discord, we will be addressing over there. And also one small announcement, most of the people was asking to extend the yesterday's assignment date. I've extended to the tomorrow 6. That tomorrow 6 is like a, if whoever has not submitted, they can still submit the yesterday's assignment. Also today's assignment date is also tomorrow 6. And we are discussing to extend or not. I'll say.
Guys, let's complete the quiz fast. Keep on answering, please.
Alright, I guess most of them have completed the quiz, apart from some are like attempting it like multiple times. So I guess like yeah, they want to learn more and more and refresh their minds. So it's well and good. So yeah, I would be ending the quiz in about a minute or so. So make sure if you are doing it, attempting it for the first time, make sure you submit it as soon as possible. And yeah, apart from that, it's all well and good.
Anything else you have something to say, Pranay, Rahul?
I mean, it's all well and good from my side. Apart from the
Nothing
quiz,
else.
like
And also tomorrow session, what we'll be discussing tomorrow, while coming to that point, it's like we are gonna pass veins over our body. Our body is gonna function tomorrow. Like our website is gonna start functioning clearly. We're gonna add JavaScript. You know, we'll be learning JavaScript. JavaScript is like a most important aspect of web development, and the part where most of the people skip. I don't want you guys to skip over there. I have seen a ton of people who skipped over the JavaScript, who just stopped over learning JavaScript. They're asking directly them. Like I will be explaining JavaScript with examples and all those things playfully. You guys will enjoy it.
and yeah, the quiz.
Also, yeah, is it done?
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. I'll be ending the session. No worry.
Yeah. So yeah, the quiz is over, and yeah, anyone who would wish to, you know, do the quiz more time, like refresh their minds once again. Like you can definitely try that out. You can attempt it multiple times, however you want. So that is active, and I hope you
Okay,
guys
yeah,
made a lot.
assignment. Yeah, just a minute, just a minute. Assignment link
Yeah.
is disabled. Yeah, I'm just enabling in a minute. Try now. I will enable now.
And yeah, that's it for the quiz. Like, congratulations, Nitin, for winning the quiz for today, day 2. And yep, Krishna is up there for the first back, second place. Vijay, Varun, Parthiv, and all. Like, and for all who have taken part in this quiz, like, congrats. And yep, that's it for the quiz. That's it from my side.
Someone is saying something is ridiculous. What happened? Was enabled. Assignments are enabled now. You guys can check it out now. Assignments are enabled. And I drop the link once again. Options is your. I don't understand what you're talking about. Some options are repetitive. Yeah. I'm gonna show you can end this thing.
Okay, that's cool. It was a great session, guys. We still have 58 attendees who are waiting for the session to end. And for these 58, like I would like to say something, guys. I know the retention rate we are checking, we started with around 300 members yesterday. So like guys, like hold your breath, like just keep on going with us. Like we know you'll fall in love when you know everything how it sets and when you can join the bits. So you'll definitely fall in love like we do. Okay,
And someone
so
explained that some options in the quiz are repetitive. There might be some error while creating the quiz that happens sometimes, even in the exams. You can see, yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, no issues with that.
that's good for you, right? It increases the accuracy rate.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Meet you guys tomorrow, same time.
Yes, guys. Bye. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us tomorrow as well. Yeah, if you would like to give some reactions, we are open to all.